Hey, so you must be as bored as I am if you're watching this. Anyway, here we go. I want to share with you a movie I grew up watching with my cousins when we were kids. This was back in the late 80s, early 90s, before the internet, in an age of VHS, Pogs, rollerblades, and stamp collecting. Yeah, this movie is about stamp collecting. Behold, Tommy Tricker and the Stamp Traveler. This movie was so influential that my dumbass even started collecting stamps and actually had a stamp album. And to be honest, I still have 2 or 3 rare stamps hidden away somewhere safe. Because this stupid movie tattooed it into my brain that stamps could possibly be worth something one day. For fuck's sake. Anyway, movie starts off at the beginning of a day at some random primary school in Canada somewhere. Kids are playing on the grounds. This kid has an absurd skateboard. Another kid is selling pet snakes. A young Rufus Wainwright is writing songs.
I'm a running, I'm a running from you, and you're chasing me to the...
You know, the usual kid stuff. We meet our titular character, Tommy, and he shows his dummy friend some stamps he's gonna try con to some classmates to get their money. These are rare stamps, you see.
Check these out, man.
Oh, wow, Tommy, they're pretty.
See that little pink triangle in the corner there? That's a mistake. On a stamp, a mistake could be worth a fortune.
A fortune, Tommy. Boy, a fortune.
A stamp with a misprint that's not supposed to be there means big bucks. Tommy gets caught right away, and some shithead named Albert gives him crap about his dad being a deadbeat.
For a lizard, he's doing just fine.
And I suppose your father's doing just fine too.
Albert is a cunt. After school, Tommy, being the trickster that he is, has another plan. He heads over to his classmate Ralph's house to see if he can trick him out of some stamps. Fucking come on. Ralph's sister Nancy shows Tommy in, and whilst talking, mentions she has pen pals all around the world. And while distracted, Tommy steals a postcard. This will be important later. Remember that. Ralph finally turns up, and they look at some stamps together. Did I mention Ralph has a stutter? Because Ralph has a stutter.
Tommy, what are you doing here?
Hi, Ralph.
Stuttering old Ralph. Tommy has a complete set of some collector stamps and is willing to trade. And Ralphie boy, he wants that set. But his collection is kid stuff. But Dad is a loser nerd. Let's check out Dad's album.
The Royal Visit. Oh, God save our gracious queen. Hey, look! 6 Mint Blue Noses. Perfect condition. Hold it, look! Another one.
Lo and behold, Ralph's dad's got some decent shit. Anyway, they make the trade, but while Ralph's not looking, Tommy double crosses him with the old switcheroo. And instead of the good set he promised, Tommy hands over a junk set and then runs right out of there, straight to the local stamp collector shop. I am not joking. Stamp collector shop. While Ralph's losing his shit because his dad's gonna be pissed, Tommy's busy selling the blue notes he just obtained. Turns out this stamp is rare as fuck. It's one of those misprints we talked about earlier. Tommy gets a few $100 for it, and you know what he does with the money? He buys his family groceries. Turns out this con artist has a heart of gold, and is just trying to do what he can to help his pretty large family since their dad runned out on him. So, Nancy comes up with an idea of going to the stamp shop and buying another stamp that looks like the stolen blue nose, and replacing it before their dad finds out it's gone. While at the shop, they see the actual Blue Nose that Tommy stole. I have no idea how they could pick it from the others unless they knew anyway.
That's it. That's the very same stamp. What do you mean it's the same? I want that one.
Oh, no.
It's the same stamp.
Not that one. Not that one. That's a variety. That's the Man on the Mask variety.
Yeah, that one's $600, and that's cheap for the Man in the Mask.
That is cheap.
That's my dad's stamp.
There's no way they can afford to get it back, so Ralphie Boy chucks a spaz and storms out, and Nancy cries. To cheer her up, the store owner gives her a free stamp album they just received that day. No idea what's in it. It could be worth something.
This we got yesterday. Could be treasures. It's all yours. Okay?
Thanks.
Okay.
Back at home, Nancy shows Ralph the new album, and it's just fucking worthless. So he starts tearing it up and throws that shit across the room. Like, dude, that's not even yours. Anyway, kinda good thing he did, because they find a secret letter hidden in the cover of the binding of the album.
What's this?
This letter is from some kid named Charles Merriweather
Come on, Nance.
from the 1920s, saying he's hid his most rarest stamps on the other side of the world. They rope Arsat Albert into their brains trust to try and solve the riddle of how to get these treasured stamps. Turns out they don't even fucking need him, because Ralphie notices the album's binding is a map of the world, so they figure maybe the other side of the world is just the other side of the album, and they cut open the back album cover, and lo and behold, another letter. Ralphie, you're a genius. Kinda. Anyway. Meanwhile, the dad finds out about the missing stamp and he yells at Ralph. White parents. I would have at least gotten a belting. Ah, the 80s. So they finally get together and read this new letter. That rhymes. Anyway, here's where the movie gets good, I promise. And this is why I remember it so fondly.
Dear Finder, you are very clever. But when I said the other side of the world, I meant the other side of the world. I hid my best stamps in a book just like this one at the Sydney Stamp and Coin Shop, 10 Evans Street, Sydney, Australia. But how can he hide his stamps on the other side of the world?
At 11 years old. Here.
How did I get to the other side of the world? Ah, that's my secret. Why am I telling you my secret? Because maybe I never returned for my stamps. Maybe I'm dead. Poor Charles.
Here is my secret. Say the magic, and you can shrink until you're so tiny that you can write on a stamp anywhere in the world.
Wow, that sounds quite dangerous. What was that?
Someone's out there.
So it turns out Tommy's eavesdropping the whole time and gets a whiff of their plan, but the kids don't quite know this yet. Instead, they plan on trying this magical stamp traveling out the next day. They head into the city and are ambushed by Tommy and his lughead friend. Cut to cool chase through the mall while a young Rupert Wainwright sings a song that has been in my brain ever since I first watched this stupid movie.
I'm a running from you, and you're a chasing, 'cause you're a chasing me to the end of the earth or the city of kingdom come.
They give the guys the slip and finally test out the stamp traveling magic. Behold, 80s CGI in all its animated glory.
I'm ready to sink. I'm ready to shrink. I'm ready to ride the stamp. I'm ready to be as big as a flea. I'm ready the world to tramp. And I have no fear at all, at all. No, I have no fear at all.
Take the envelope now and drop it. Go, Ralph, go.
I can't.
You can do it, Ralph. Drop it. Australia, here we come.
Turns out part of the magic is nobody who knows what the fuck is going on can physically touch the letter. So now Ralph's fucked because he's tiny, on a stamp, getting stepped on, and Nancy and Albert can't do shit to help him. Luckily, some random girl sees the letter and goes to mail it.
That's good.
But out of nowhere, some asshole businessman takes the letter off the girl.
That's bad.
Dude walks off with the letter and stamp-sized Ralph. Opens the letter on the bus hoping it might have some money or shit in it, but no. So he throws the letter away. This movie is full of just things like that. Just like, oh, this is happening. No, we need to fill time. Next, we have some weird scene with Nancy, Tommy, a homeless man, and Albert. Albert gives Tommy shit, saying the homeless bum reminds him of Tommy's dad, and Tommy beats up Albert. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with Albert? Such a little cunt.
Stay away from me! Reminds you of your father, doesn't he?
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I'll take it back.
Fatso, you've been asking for this for a long time! You big mouth!
Come on, stop it. You're hurting him.
Next, the bum tries to cheer Tommy up and gives him a letter he found in the rubbish bin. Tiny Ralph Stamp Ex Machina.
On this for you.
I don't care what you found.
Look,
I don't want it.
Just put it there. Don't worry, I'm leaving. Bye.
Ralphie!
That night, Tommy calls Nancy to tell her not to worry about literally losing her brother today, because he found him, and he's gonna mail him off like the good little boy he is. Then we get a pretty cool montage scene of how mail is sorted and sent off. Look, as a kid, this was kinda cool. And then finally, the stamp reaches the destination on the letter it was mailed to. The only thing left to do now is finish the spell and set Ralph free is for someone to open the letter.
Ooh. 这是什么？
Boom! Ralph's big again. And this little kid is the only one freaking out. Look at his parents, they're not even phased. Turns out Tommy did the old switcheroo again. He put Ralph's stamp on a postcard to Nancy's pen pal. Tommy sent Ralph to China so he can get a head start to Sydney and get the rare stamps for himself. Being in China, nobody can understand Ralph, and vice versa.
English. English. English.
So Nancy's pen pal takes Ralph to a school to meet his friend who knows English. Seriously, there are so many ups and downs in this movie, it's like we really got to pad for time or some shit. Anyway, turns out this chick has been translating the postcards for the pen pal all along, so they do their best to help Ralph and come up with some idea of how to post him once he's been shrunken into the stamp.
You see, first
this dragon will pick your letter up. Then, you pull the string. The letter will drop in the mailbox. Isn't that clever?
Finally, our main man Ralph gets to Australia. But the stamp shop he was posting himself to has since been closed and become a bookshop. And the letter is sent to the granddaughter of the owner, because turns out the owner is dead. I mean, they got the information from a letter from the 20s. What are you gonna do? So, Ralph pops out of the letter, and this chick, Cheryl, is all pissed off and having none of that shit. Turns out this is the second stamp traveler she's met. She tells Ralph that only just yesterday, a kid in ye old timey clothes popped off a stamp delivered to her. Said his name's Charles Merriweather, and he's after his stamps. Turns out, all her dead granddad's stuff went to her uncle, Mad Mike, when he died. I have no idea if this is a reference to Mad Max. Moving on. He owns an animal sanctuary in the bush, so they figure Charles has gone to meet Mike too. And that's exactly where Ralph wants to go. So after a short montage through Sydney, they find themselves in the bush. This does not make sense whatsoever, but whatever. Movie magic. They see some people running through the bush, so Cheryl and Ralph hide and watch what's going on. An old hermit man and an aboriginal are chasing what looks to be like Charles Merriweather. But no, not at all. It's Tommy fucking Trigger. And before he can mail himself and get away, he's caught and then chained up in a kangaroo paddock for trying to steal Mad Mike's stamp album. Australia.
I'm ready to shrink, I'm ready to sink, I'm ready to the world to roam. I'm ready to get into this stamp. Come on, Stamp, come on! Come on!
Who's that? That's Mad Mike, the crazy one.
You're coming down your little Lord Porter, are you? Don't think you can steal from me, do you?
Turns out, Mad Mike is actor Tony Barry.
You dropped this on the road.
Me, I'm Charles Merriweather.
You're not Charles Merriweather. You're a liar. See all these kangaroos? They're all liars too. You're going to stay with them until you learn to tell the truth.
And his Aboriginal mate, Dave, is a young early dingo. Applause! Ralph signals to a chained up Tommy that he's here, and Dave, Ernie Dingo, sees what's going on, and chases the kids through the bush for seemingly no reason. Seriously, once he catches up with the kids, the scene changes to a campfire at night with Mike and Dave and no kids around. No sense whatsoever.
Hi! Now we are Nova. Hi. Be scared of.
Ernie sings a beautiful song, and Mike laments about having his pets poisoned by poachers. Backstory. Enter Ralph and Cheryl from the darkness with a baby koala. No idea where they got this from. They offer the koala to Mike as a peace offering and hope to exchange him for Tommy. Mike's all like, yeah, no, alright, fair go. And gives Tommy over to Ralph, and also gives him the stamp album. Next day, Tommy and Ralph ride a stamp home together. They get a kangaroo to mail it for them, for fuck. God damn it. And it's suggested that Dave's controlling the roo by playing a didge into a fucking metal pipe. Yep. The letter is posted with a scene that could have been straight out of Skippy the Bush Kangaroo. Or Charlie the Wonder Dog. He really is a wonder dog.
Charlie the Wonder Dog, is there anything you can do? Running, jumping, making us smile. Charlie, we love you.
Charlie the Wonder Dog, starring Charlie the Wonder Dog, the Piss Week Kids, and Charles Bud Tingwell as Gramps.
Charlie, we love you.
Now we're back in Canada. Nancy's got a new letter in the mail. One from Sydney with Ralph and Tommy. Her parents think it's just a joke and that someone's drawn a picture of them on the stamp. So Nancy drops some signs on their ass and opens the letter in front of them, releasing the boys into the air of the dining room. Dad folds off his chair, the boys fly off into the yard and land in a pool.
Oops, there goes the hat. There goes the platypus. Woo!
Next day or some shit, Ralph's dad has a friend over, an old man who also collects stamps, for fucking goddamn it, and gives him back his stolen Man on the Mask Blue Nose. The kids enter with Charles Merriweather's album they got from Mad Mike, and hand it over to Ralph and Nancy's dad. The dad, the old man, and the kids all gather round the album and bask in its glory.
Scampering squirrels. The 1897 Jubilee set complete. I've never seen anything like this.
Excellent. How about those, Dad? Aren't they better than the Blue Nose?
Indeed they are, my son.
Then Albert ruins the moment by being a tosspot.
I think I can speak for your father, Ralph, when I say that you have done surprisingly well.
The old man pipes up and tells Ralph and Tommy they're lucky to be alive, because some stamp travelers don't always make it back. He goes on to show everyone his album, and he has another special Blue Nose. This one, like Ralph's dad's Man on the Mask Blue Nose, also has an added man. But this one's riding on the bow, and he's carrying a satchel inscribed with the name Charles.
Charles!
Turns out Charles Merriweather has been on that stamp since 1920s. Ralph comes up with an idea to mail Charles to themselves and finally free him. And while they're discussing where the boy will live and how to do it and whatnot, Tommy steals the stamp and runs the fuck out of there. But he's closely chased by the other kids, the parents, and old man, all to another Wainwright song. End credits. There was actually a sequel to this fucking movie, if you can believe it or not, in 1994, with none of the original cast. The actors they got looked nothing like the originals, and didn't even have the same hair color. They tried to force a love story between Tommy and Nancy, but that didn't really work either. So that's about it. I'm pretty sure I didn't do this movie justice, and you can't really find it nowadays. We used to rent it from the video store, but I think you can find it on YouTube, but like in parts. Anyway, it's a fun watch, especially if you're a kid. Let me know if you like this. Maybe I'll do another more, but I am a pretty lazy man. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for listening to my crap. Bye, Z's!